Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. It's Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Look forward to getting started in a few minutes here. I see we've got a few people already on watching. Scott, how are you, man?
I'm good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Coming live from here in Moosehead Lake up in Maine. Scott's live from Connecticut. How's the weather down there?
It's windy and cold. I hate it.
Oh. Well,
March 1st. It's March 1st. You think things are starting to get warm and everything else?
Well,
I hate it. It's cold. Let's go with spring.
it's Connecticut. You expect it.
I know.
Yep.
I know it's going to snow at the end of March into April. April's going to be snowy. I get it. I know.
Yeah.
We've seen this all before.
Yes. Why don't you come up here about 7 hours north?
I hate snow.
We got lots of it.
Great. It was great when I was a kid, but now I hate it.
Well,
so no.
Well, maybe I'll bring some back with me.
At least Maine, you expect it to be cold and all the time and snow and everything else.
Right.
But
it's gorgeous here. It's cold. The lake is still frozen. We've got about 32 to 36 inches of ice on the lake. So some great ice fishing. People are out snowmobiling. The ski mountain down the street is doing phenomenal. So it's things are in high gear up here. I got to tell you, last night we had the state championships for the Greenville Lakers, and they won the state championships last night. And it was a pretty cool experience being there at the Augusta Civic Center for their win. The really cool part, though, is that on the way home, as soon as we got to the county line, the sheriff's department was there to give the bus a police escort into town. So I took some video last night. Going to let everyone that's watching kind of see what happened last night. Got to the Greenville town. And then we start. Yeah, so congratulations to the Lady Lakers on taking home the state championships. And it was a great game. So congratulations, guys. So
yeah, congratulations.
So what's new, man? What's new down there?
Yeah, same thing. Just work every day, taking care of the family, waiting for spring, so we can start doing some outside stuff. This weather is too much.
Oh, come on.
So I need palm trees.
Well, I'm waiting for the thaw up here so I can get back on the lake with the kayak and enjoy some time on the lake. Well, you're gonna be up here in about 2 months.
I know.
We got the camp coming up.
What I got to do, I got to buy a truck so I can bring my kayaks up there so I can enjoy the lake.
Yeah. Or
I hate going up there and just looking out there being like, wow, that's nice. I wish I had my kayak.
You know what? You might notice that there's only 2 of us on the stream tonight. Mike couldn't make it tonight, so we'll look forward to having him back with us next week. And last week, you couldn't make it because it was your son's birthday. So happy birthday, belated, which we already said happy birthday, but I know you had a fantastic time. And
the teenager, man.
Oh, comes up quick.
Oh, my God.
So let's talk, speaking of teenagers, let's talk about peace treaty. Let's talk about the Taliban and a peace treaty, right?
All right, let's talk about that.
Was that a nice little segue? You like that?
That was good.
All right.
That was nice. I like that.
So
That was very smooth.
I pulled in two videos that I want to play for everyone that's watching right now to talk about the peace treaty. So let's play this first one here, and then we'll be right back in. So here we go.
It's been an unusually quiet week in Kabul, where bombs and bullets have been the mainstay for years. But the Afghan Taliban says the agreement signed in Doha marks the beginning of real change.
I think the neighbor people of Afghanistan and also world community want to see Afghanistan stable. And this today is very important, and this is the first step opening the door to the hope of the people of Afghanistan.
Last year, more than 3,400 civilians were killed in the country. The Taliban were responsible for almost half of those deaths. Afghan forces and the US were responsible for 43%. In recent years, the Taliban has been responsible for numerous attacks against civilians. In 2014, a teenage suicide bomber sitting in the audience of a play detonated a bomb. It was in a French school that was considered a safe haven for culture in Kabul. The first month of 2018 saw a string of attacks by the group. On the 20th of January, several armed men stormed the Intercontinental Hotel in Kabul and killed 21 people. They'd attacked the same hotel in 2011. A week later, an ambulance packed with explosives was detonated in a shopping centre in Kabul. Dozens were killed. In September last year, President Donald Trump called off talks with the Taliban after it admitted responsibility for an attack in Kabul that killed dozens of people.
We have had statements coming in from Kabul government and also the United States of America that we cannot trust the Taliban because there are so many groups. There are like 22 groups. Yet the Taliban were like, no, we are one group. This reduction in violence phase proved that the Taliban indeed is one group.
But it's not just the Taliban who have admitted killing civilians. ISIL-linked groups have fought the Taliban and Afghan government forces and also killed scores of people. And last year also saw a record high level of civilian casualties from airstrikes, most of those by international forces, including the US. But the deal signed in Doha still has a long way to go before real peace can be achieved. A crucial next step will be if the Taliban can reach an agreement with the Afghan government, who it has been locked in a brutal conflict with for almost 2 decades. Laura Burden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
All right.
That's what you think. So we went there, and we were a prison unit, a prison guard. So we were an MP unit, but we got cross-trained into prison specialist MP military police unit.
Right. So, I mean, if you're watching us right now, comment. Do you trust this peace treaty deal? Do you think that that this is going to make a big change for peace in the Middle East? And let us know what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear them. So, something else to think about here is Super Tuesday's coming up, right? Super Tuesday's coming up on Tuesday, so make sure you make your vote count and you get out there and you vote for the primaries, and make sure you get that done. Very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the crimes of the week that we have some video clips on. So let's show off the first clip here. Mike had sent this over to us earlier in the week, and I won't preface what you're about to watch, but just take a watch for a second and we'll talk about it afterwards. So here we go. It's a domestic, I'll tell you that much. This is a domestic. The guy in the baseball cap with the gray sweatshirt is the husband. That's the wife. He goes to shoot her in the head. Gun doesn't discharge. This woman tries to pull him off. And the gun discharges, as you can see. And then looks like he tries to pull the trigger again. Wow. How about that?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Do you know where this video originated from?
I don't know if Mike knows. It looks like...
It's definitely not around here.
No, I think that would probably be some... maybe Asia, right? Somewhere in the Philippines or Thailand. And we also tried watching this video back several times to try to see the make and model of that firearm, figure out what happened.
Again, it looked like a revolver, but I mean, like I said,
that's what I thought.
So fast to break it down. I don't know. Maybe a misfire. I'm just thinking.
I'll tell you one thing: it wasn't her day.
Yeah, true. And it's funny how you watch the guy. He's I don't know the dialect between him and her or what was going on, but when I first saw that, I was shocked.
Oh, I know.
I thought he was just like chilling out, elbow on the counter, just relaxing. I had no idea what this guy was doing.
And all of a sudden,
when you sent me the video, I don't know who I was watching. I don't know who the bad guy was. So I was like, so when he did that, I was like, I got to watch this again because I missed the whole thing.
Well, that's exactly why I didn't want to preface it. I wanted all of our viewers to see that and see how it kind of unfolded. And I guess the point of that is how quickly things can escalate, right? It looks like they were just having a nice conversation. Then all of a sudden, it goes into something violent. So you could be in a confrontation with someone, a casual confrontation, and then things can just immediately go from 0 to 200 miles per hour that quickly. So it's important to be aware of that, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, even on the street, what law enforcement deals with every day, you could be people are talking to people back and forth, and they're cool as heck, and all of a sudden, boom, they just snap.
Right.
I had an incident where someone called the police on her husband. We were there to deal with the situation, and an arrest was to be made, so we arrested the husband. All of a sudden, she's hitting us with the portable phone.
Huh.
So it's like you called us here. It wasn't. We're not here. We didn't pick a house and say, let's go arrest this guy.
Yeah.
So law enforcement deals with this every day. It's those split-second decisions that these troopers and these municipal cops have to make on a split second every single day, and so that's what we deal with.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And the video shows it right there. Just watching it, I didn't have any audio, but just watching it, when I did watch it, when I had audio, it was like everybody looks cool, everybody's calm, and all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Right.
Then it hit you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it was definitely her day. It was her lucky day. I mean, I think he pistol whipped her in the head, but I'll take that versus a bullet any day. So
absolutely.
It was crazy.
Want to say hi to Mike, Michael, and Deanna saying hello. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the live stream here on Sunday night. So the question of the night is the peace treaty with the Taliban. Put some comments in. Let us know if you are for it, against it, and if you think we could trust it. That would be the big question of the day. And if you're watching this on the restream afterwards, still feel free to put comments in and to ask us questions. We certainly will address those and answer them. And obviously, a lot of people watch this afterwards. So please stay part of the conversation. Feel free to put a comment in. So let's go to our next video that we have here. So this takes place in a very, very safe place that you never have any concerns about being, and that is the subway in New York City, right? So
Yeah. Okay.
let's play this video. You know, I used to live in New York, and I would take the subway as a single person. Once I got married and kids, no more subway for me, right? Not
Rather walk.
yeah, not a place that I wanted to be. All right, so let's play this video. Here we go.
Cell phone video captures the man in the red shirt going on an expletive-laced tirade at another rider, then pulling out a knife and waving it around, finally spitting at the rider before getting off the train. The victim did not want to reveal his identity. He says it all started on the E train at Canal Street after the suspect hit his young son in a stroller.
He was crying, and that's why they caught everybody's attention. The noise when he hit him on the arm. I have 2 kids, I wouldn't do anything like that. That's why I couldn't hold myself and I say, listen, what you're doing is not right.
You can hear the 45-year-old victim speak out on the video.
I'm tough on myself, bro. I'm tough on myself, bro. Because he's my son and I could do that.
The suspect's son even yells at him at one point to stop.
What you talking about? I'm not stopping nothing until he do something.
It happened Sunday, June 24th, around 3:30 in the afternoon. Then, at the West 4th Street stop, he held the subway doors open.
Come on, come out here. Come out here. Come out here.
That's obviously pretty scary.
You never know, and it just says you shouldn't confront people on the subway because it could be dangerous.
Police say the man who flashed the knife is now wanted for menacing.
The victim tells me he takes the E train every day, and now he's worried that the suspect will retaliate.
If he pull a knife and threat your life in front of everybody and holding his child at the same time, this guy doesn't have anything to lose.
The victim, who was not injured, says he was trying to do the right thing, and now he will never intervene again. In Greenwich Village, Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
Wow. So 3:30 in the afternoon on the subway in New York City. He hits his son because the son wasn't behaving. Hit him, I guess, hard enough to cause attention where everyone was looking at him. And then this guy erupted into an argument with this passenger and started getting threatening, right? With his son right there, pulls out a knife. Mm-hmm. So, and toward the middle of the video, the son actually looks up at his dad and says, "Dad, stop." And the dad says to the son, "I'm not going to stop until he does something." Right?
Yeah, he's talking to him like it's his homie,
right.
His boy, you know?
Right.
He's 3 years old.
And he's not going to stop until this guy does something. It just, man, it seems like a lot of times you're literally one step away sometimes from pushing someone to a point of being violent, right? And at this end of the video, the reporter says that the person will no longer confront someone because you don't know what that person might have. So I've kind of got mixed views on that, right? Because one, you're going to say, okay, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get involved because, someone could do something to me or it could turn back on me. But yet you're going to be quiet and just not say anything at all. It seems like it's kind of counterproductive of making this a better place to live, right? Too many people don't say anything. They continue to walk by. They continue to drive by the person that's broken down on the side of the road. But and if you also think about it, you could pull off to the side of the road and that could be a setup, right?
Right.
So what's right, what's wrong?
Right, exactly. And it's happened.
Yeah.
We hear stories all the time like that.
Yeah.
But here we have a father who probably shouldn't be a father, I'm all for disciplining your kid. You want to, I'm not saying punch him, but people have a preconceived notion that you can't hit your kids. Yeah. I can't hit my kids. Can't hit my kids. No, you can discipline your kids. You can't punch them in the face. But if you want to give him a smack because he's acting out of control,
right,
by all means.
Right.
And we see it all the time where the kids are like, well, my mom hits me. I'm just going to call the police and have her arrested. Yeah. And it's like, no, Junior, it's not going to happen that way. Yeah. So for one, and who's gonna fight this guy who's wielding a knife? Yeah. No one in their right mind is going to say, oh, well, let me pick a fight with this guy because he's got a knife. Well, and the intelligence comes out of the 3-year-old.
Right.
The 3-year-old is more intelligent than this guy saying, "Dad, can you knock it off?"
Right.
Because you're acting like an idiot, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to his 3-year-old like that's his homeboy.
Right.
That's his. Dude, I'm not gonna stop until this guy does something.
What kind of example is he setting for that kid?
I feel bad for the child. I'm sure if this is happening out in public, I can only imagine what's happening at his house.
Yeah, behind doors.
So it's horrible. It's a tragic scene. I pray for that kid.
Yeah.
To be honest with
You know, the Jennifer asked a question. Thank you for watching, by the way, Jennifer. Hi, how are you? Asked a question. So the guy with the knife hit his kid. Yes. He disciplined his child, and then he and then caught the attention. I guess he hit him so hard in the arm that all the all the people that were on that subway turned and looked, and that started this whole whirlwind of probably verbalization back and forth, and it just kind of escalated from there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
How about instead of hitting your kid, 'cause I'm sure he hits him all the time, how about you pick him up? How about you pick him up out of the stroller? Because maybe he's uncomfortable. Maybe that's why the kid's crying or whatever he's doing. How about you pick him up and you hold him?
Yeah.
How about that?
Right.
Try that.
Right.
That might work wonders instead of just hitting the kid.
Well,
you know, so try picking him up and try loving the kid.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's the problem we see. They're so quick to hit the kid. Where what if he just wants to be held or something like that? You know,
he just wants your attention. A lot of kids act out.
That's all.
And they just want dad to pay attention. Maybe he was on his cell phone. Maybe he, isn't giving him, like you said, feeling uncomfortable. Wasn't giving him enough attention at that time, and it was just the way I was acting out to say, hey,
Right. Right.
I try to have as many conversations with my son as possible, and try to encourage the conversation in educational points. And sometimes that can be difficult because as the kids get older, sometimes they don't want to hear it as much, right?
Right.
But trying to take these experiences or these videos and being able to make it into a conversation piece where you can educate our kids onto what is right and what is wrong and how to respond and try to give them that education, I think is important.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And no parent wants to hear some stranger say, "Well, what are you doing with your kid? You're trying to raise your kid." Nobody wants to hear that, and that's why people are like, "You know what? I'm just gonna stay out of it."
You become very defensive, right? You become very defensive.
Exactly.
Right.
If I'm doing something wrong with my kid, I mean, tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be a jerk to you, or like this guy was. I wouldn't pull a knife, but I might
say, "Mind your own business."
In the beginning,
right?
Yeah, you might be defensive in the beginning, but you might drive home and realize, hey, you know what? Maybe that person's right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't do this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, and there's times.
Again,
go ahead.
Again, we need to take responsibility for our actions, and that's where we fail in society to do.
Right.
We don't take responsibility for our actions.
No, you're absolutely right. And what's interesting is that my wife and I have had this conversation many times, and my wife has given me the good advice that we said something, and maybe in that moment that person wasn't very responsive to it, but maybe after we walked away, they're going to think to themselves, maybe that person had a point, or maybe we'll make them think a little bit differently for next time. And that's a good thing. That makes us trying to make things better for other people, right? And I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but if I can interject something and maybe make someone pause and say, hey, I never looked at it that way, or wow, that was perceived this way by this individual that I didn't even know. Maybe I should relook at my the way that I act and the way that I respond to that type of situation, right? So,
definitely.
Yeah, we got some comments coming in here. Scary situation, absolutely. Jennifer is saying no one contacted security after witnessing this. This baby gets to go home to dad with anger management issues. Who's menacing with a knife, right? So he's going home with this guy that's pulling out a knife on this individual. How can you not intervene?
Right.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, maybe if he escalated that quickly, with a knife and pulling it on a stranger, what's he going to do when he gets behind closed doors? So maybe there should have been a little bit more of an intervention, right?
Right.
Which brings.
But then again, people with no weapons, they're not going to get involved.
Yeah.
This guy's got a knife. I'm just going to videotape it like everybody else does. They're going to videotape it, or they're just going to be like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is be the best witness. Again, for law enforcement, when you get off, you get Metro North, the police department, and be the best witness for law enforcement. Obviously that kid probably should not be with that guy.
Right.
If this is what he's doing out in public at 3:00 in the afternoon, then he probably shouldn't be with this guy.
The thing is that you get the police involved. The police end up intervening. and the child might go into a system, right, with DCF, or nothing ends up happening. Right, we read these articles all the time, in these news articles of, it's been reported about abuse, or the child's had someone get involved and they weren't removed out of the home, and then bad things have happened.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I think you're right. You got to at least try. You've got to at least to try to do something better. Which brings us to New York bail reform topic for today. How about these segues? I'm excited, man. These segues are going really, really well. So
It's fantastic.
let's put it up on the screen here. So here's an individual that has been arrested 139 times, saying that bail reform is lit. He's excited about it. New York City subway thief who has been arrested 139 times thanks Democrats for the new law that brags he cannot be stopped after being released. So, 56-year-old was arraigned in Manhattan criminal court on Saturday. He was arrested on Thursday by New York City Transit Police. Barry, who had served 6 stints in state prison, has been arrested 139 times. His arrests have been for nonviolent crimes like larceny and petty theft, which we'll talk more about that in a second, right? And New York bail law requires judges not to impose bail on nonviolent offenders, right?
Perfect.
Well, so there's that line there of what is actually violent, right? Because we had an incident where an individual hit a New York City police officer about a month or so ago, and went into jail and was released that same day on this Bail Reform Act on just a promise to appear. So where is that line of really nonviolent? Manslaughter is included in the charges on the bail reform.
No kidding.
So, man, New York's a scary place.
It really is. It's only getting worse. I was there probably 2 weeks ago for a Rangers game, and we're walking to the arena, and it's starting to look like little mini Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing work on buildings, so they have a scaffolding up.
Right.
And at the bottom is all these little covered areas where people are living.
Right.
So it's turning into a Los Angeles.
Oh.
You know, like San Francisco, where all these homeless people are living. So it's a scary town, and it's going crazy.
It is.
I think, you know what? I might just go to New York and steal a Tesla.
Hey, you can be out the next day, you get to drive it again.
Sure. Why not? Why not? And this is what the people are going to start thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, go to New York. Just steal anything.
It's kind of like a child who doesn't get disciplined, right? And you let him off the hook, and then what happens? He doesn't see there's any consequences. So,
right.
And when you see these lawmakers switching the laws and saying that there aren't going to be consequences for these actions, these criminals that grow up in homes that have no morals, these homes are broken. They're not taught that the right and the wrong, right? So now you have them making these judgment calls, and then lawmakers saying, "Oh, you know what? That isn't so bad. We're just going to let you back out in the street on a promise to appear." So, what type of what is that setting? What type of example is it setting? What are you teaching them? I mean, we've had this private conversation many times about the death penalty, whether you believe in it or not. If someone thinks that if they're going to commit a heinous crime that they're going to possibly go into the electric chair, it might make them hesitate. So if you know that there's consequences for your actions, let's even take it a step back. If someone was to walk up to me and start running their mouth at me about something, but they knew that I was going to respond with possibly giving them a left hook, they may not run their mouth as much, or they may not be disrespectful or start to commit that crime, right? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that if people realize that they have, if there's going to be some type of action that's going to happen to them, some type of disciplinary action that's going to happen to them that they don't want to happen to them, they're going to be a little bit more hesitant on committing those crimes. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. Absolutely, 100%. Yep. And you got these people who are in jail for 150 years. Well, we're really going to give it to them. We're going to put them in a year for 210 life sentences. Well, who cares?
Right.
The guy knows he's going to die there anyway.
Yep.
But you start bringing back, and I'm not talking about like lethal injection, stuff like that. Now, people might not agree with me here, but
it's a whole nother show.
You bring back the mercy seat, the electric chair. That's something you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
All right. Just the thought of that's a possibility.
Right.
Because I think this guy who killed his family down in Florida, they're going for the death penalty for this guy.
Hmm.
So this guy may have thought, well, I'm just going to get life in prison if I kill my family. But now they're pushing for the death penalty.
Right.
And Texas, they just had a guy ambush a police officer, and he's getting a death penalty.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, they're gonna euthanize him like a dog, you know.
Yeah.
But he may have not thought he was going to get it, but now he's going to get it,
Yeah.
and now it's like, oh, please help me.
Oh,
You know.
absolutely. And you know and just because there is an electric chair, let's be honest, it's not going to stop crime. It's not going to deter
Right,
everything. Look at the Cheshire home invasions with Karma Lajeski. I mean, the electric chair was still on the table at that point, right? Or at least death penalty, I should say, was on at that point, and that didn't stop them. So there's still going to be crimes. Don't get me wrong, but I think there needs to be a consequence for people's actions. And you know, there's some people, to be honest with you, I just don't think should be walking among civilization and with us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, we all know people who mess up. Okay, you screw up sometimes.
Right.
You do something stupid, but the whole Cheshire Karma Lajeski thing, that's not a screw up. This is what I'm going to do. All right. And now they're suing because their meals aren't 100% kosher and they're this and they're that.
Right.
I'd be like, well, here's some dog food. This is what you get.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I mean, this.
Yeah.
I drove by the site. In Cheshire a couple of weeks ago, and it grabbed me in the chest, and I was like, wow, this happened less than a mile from my house.
Right. Right.
You know, this stuff was going on, and I don't know where I was or what I was doing, but this was going on while I was living here.
Right.
And these two, I'm sorry, scumbags are living the good life in prison, where they should have been all along.
Right.
They got out because they're nice guys, they're doing okay, they haven't gotten in trouble in 3 years, whatever. But now it's like, really?
And then they got out and they committed this heinous crime. And there's no doubt in anyone's mind that they are guilty too, right? So I mean, they were caught red-handed. It was them. You know, everything that happened to the horror that it did is 100% true, right?
Right.
So there is no question about the crime that they committed and how bad it was. The question is, should they be allowed to spend the rest of their lives with a nice beauty rest mattress and TVs in their room and 3-course meals that are kosher, and have the right to be able to demand that, right? Didn't one of them go on a hunger strike for a while there?
Yeah, because his food wasn't 100% kosher.
Wow.
So I'm going to hunger strike. I'd be like, well, all right, well, okay, you're going to be hungry for a while because this is what you're getting. This is what everybody gets.
Wow.
But in prison, you can write a book, you can get your college degree, you can get this, you can get this, you can get that. It's like, when does it end?
Right.
Whatever happened to the guys breaking rock all day on a chain gang?
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Hey,
those guys
go down south, go through North Carolina and South Carolina. You're going to see the prison bus pulled on the side of the road with the guys working out in the ditches, right? And the guy sitting on top of the bus with the shotgun, and they know they run.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It is what it is. You know.
Yep.
And of course, this is the violent offenders who have 1,000 lives, 1,000 prison. We're not talking about the guy who stole something and got arrested and he's doing 2 years in prison.
Right.
I'm talking about the harder criminals, the people who kill people, who rape little kids, who they're just disgusting human beings.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we're talking about. We're not talking about the people who, all right, I got into a DUI accident, I messed up.
Right.
No big deal.
We're talking about violent criminals and people.
Violent criminals.
Right. And these criminals that admit to what they do. I just read an article this past week, Scott, about this guy who's got I can't remember the number. It's like 5 or 7 life in prison terms, right? He's not getting out, period. So he says, I'm committing more crimes in jail. I'll get something from somebody. I don't care. What does it matter at this point, right? You ask me to shank somebody? Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? What are they going to do?
Exactly. Yep.
Put another 5 years on me?
Right.
Okay.
It's not going to matter. So he's doing even more crimes for gangs or getting things given to him in jail from other members of the jail population for return favors of committing these crimes because it doesn't matter to him anymore, right? So there's a lot more to it than just what's on the cover that we could dig into a little bit more. I think this might be a different topic for us, right?
Yeah, we can talk all day about this.
So let's talk about some upcoming seminars. March 28th, Big day.
Good day.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good day.
Got 3 seminars coming up. First one is going to be a women's self-defense seminar where we're going to cover teaching some basic combatives and how to use your body to defend yourself. Talk about situational awareness. And then we're going to introduce a little bit of, if you're thinking about getting your pistol permit to carry for self-protection, we're going to talk a little bit about the laws, regulations, what you need to be aware of, and a little bit of training on how a firearm operates and how it functions by using our T4E line of training weapons. So I know a lot of women, when they come through that course, come in because they're thinking about getting their pistol permit, and they aren't sure yet. So this is a great opportunity, being a women's only forum with access to us to be able to ask the pointed questions that you have about firearm safety, about carrying a firearm, about ownership, about training with that firearm, the process to be able to get your pistol permit. And we could take you through that whole process, from the training to getting you set up for the pistol permit process and getting your certificate done so you can apply for your pistol permit, and then continue training afterwards so that you feel confident. And Scott, I mean, we talk about this all the time in our videos. It's extremely important if you're going to carry a firearm. Train. You need to feel comfortable carrying. Just because you've got a firearm on your hip or it's inside of your bag, how can you access it? How quickly can you get to it? Is it loaded properly? How are you carrying it? There's so many things that you need to experience, and you need to be able to train with this and have that opportunity to be able to say, okay, I'm going to carry it this way. How do I access it under stress, and how do I get to it? Right, Scott?
Right, exactly. And it's not only that; it's the aftermath.
Yeah.
If I have to use this, what am I going to go through? It's not just you shoot the guy and he's dead, and you walk away, and okay, well, I stopped the criminal.
Right.
It's not even that.
Yeah.
It's the aftermath of everything. The not the criminal aspect, but the stuff you're going to.
What do you do? We cover. What are you going to do when the police arrive? How do you respond?
Exactly.
What do you say?
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Right.
You shoot the guy. Is he going to die right away?
Who knows?
No.
Depends on where you hit him. You most likely not.
Did you know that?
Most likely not.
Maybe a lot of people watching this video are saying, hey, I shoot someone, it's over and done with. You might have more of a fight on hand than you expect, right? And knowing where to shoot, where to take that shot, how to stand when shooting. If you get the guy and he's down and he's injured, what do you do at that point? Right? These are all things that you need to train and talk about and meet with a qualified instructor to make sure you have the proper information. And let's talk about the come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
That conversation. Right? You've got to talk with yourself and say, okay, I am going to apply for my pistol permit. I'm going to go through the training. I'm going to stay dedicated to this, and I'm going to be responsible. And you have to have that conversation early on. You can't have it 2 seconds before a violent encounter happens or while that violent encounter is happening. It's something that you need to address with yourself and have basically a talk with yourself, right? And say, am I ready for this? Am I ready to take this on? And have that come to Jesus moment.
It's a huge responsibility, carrying a pistol.
Yeah.
We tell all the. I mean, even in the last class, they were very into it.
Yeah.
Very motivated to do this, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I'm going to start carrying. I feel more comfortable." It's just going through the training and not because you go through the NRA, the pistol course. It's good. It's a good foundation. It's a good, okay, I know how guns work.
Right.
I know what a revolver is. I know what a semi-automatic.
Right.
I know what this is. I've shot this. I shot that. I shot a 9. I shot a 40. I shot a 22. Whatever. But this goes much deeper, much farther into that.
Absolutely.
Than the NRA. And again, NRA is good. It's a good foundation. It gives you a good baseline of what you need.
Right.
But you got to go farther.
No.
Again, you know me. I train under pressure, under stress. I think that's the only way to train.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
They say, well, I went to NRA. I'm good. I got my pistol. Let's go. You're not ready.
No.
You're not ready.
You're not ready at all.
You need to go a little farther. You need to dig a little deeper than that.
Oh, but what about the person that goes to the indoor gun range and puts 500 rounds down that alleyway, though? They're ready, right?
Well, the target that's just standing there like this.
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm great. I'm great at still target. I'm actually really good. Okay. But when you're shooting and people are shooting back at you, like either the T4 line of weapons that Mike shoots back at us and everything else, that's what do they say? A perfect shooter drops down, 3%? So half of their rounds don't even hit.
Right.
So once you're in that stress level, you're a different shooter.
Yeah.
I don't care if you think you're a sniper or not. you're not.
Right.
You're not going to be a sniper when people are shooting back at you.
Right.
And that's the training that you need with this kind of weapon. Because let's be honest, you go to an active shooter in a mall, you think the guy's going to say, look at you and be like, well, okay, let me station up. Let me get like this. There you go. There's shoot. He's going to be moving, zigging, zagging, hiding, shooting back. So
right.
That's the question you need to have with yourself. Am I going to get involved in a situation like that?
Yeah.
And I need to train for that situation.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And, this course, though, on the March 28th, we're not going to get that intense, but it's an introduction. No. It's the start of the process, the start of the conversation, the start of how do I handle someone that is approaching me and I'm kind of unsure of their intentions and they're becoming hostile or they're becoming a little bit violent or I'm concerned about my safety at this point. How do I respond to that? And that's what this course is going to be. Situational awareness, verbalization drills, some basic self-defense and how to strike and where to strike, and a little introduction into carrying a firearm for self-defense and allowing you to ask any questions that you would like in a woman-only type of forum. That's happening again March 28th. It's happening at our sister training center in North Brantford, TPA Milsim. This indoor arena was built in the past few months, and it was built for us to do training indoors, right? So the inside facility allows us to pull vehicles in for carjacking drills, set up one area of the arena like a convenience store or another area like an elevator, work confined space. So it allows us a lot of opportunity to do some pretty unique things that you normally couldn't do in training environments. And we've been doing these trainings, God, Scott, we're going on a decade now. But a lot of times we hold off on some of the outdoor stuff to work with the vehicles. Now we have an indoor facility where we can pull in the vehicles and do stuff, and that's pretty outstanding, right? Yeah. And being able to make all these different areas, Todd, the owner of TPA Milsim, we've been working with for years, basically says, what do you guys need? How do you need it built? And what area do you want it in? And he's been doing an outstanding job of getting everything situated for us. And besides running the seminars we do there, he offers birthday parties for kids and does Nerf games and does some airsoft training and stuff in there as well. So if you are interested in doing anything with his facility, you should check him out online. Tactical Paintball and Airsoft, or TPA Milsim in North Brantford. And make sure to mention that T4 Survival Alpha Croft Maga sent you, and they'll take good care of you down there. So Jennifer made a comment that pistol permit class is open book, and then pull this trigger 6 times. Congrats, you submit your paperwork, right? But she's done a lot of training with us and has some really great experiences, and her confidence level from when she started to where she is now is just totally different person. Totally different person, right? So thank you, Jennifer. She does a lot of our training camps, and we got the next one come May, which she's going to be there. And if you think about doing immersing yourself in training, we have the May camp coming up, and we have a couple spots still left. We have one cabin that's going to be all women, and we have a couple cabins that are going to be some guys are staying in. You also have the opportunity, if you want to have your own private cabin, you could do that as well. So if you're interested in a T4 Survival Camp, go to t4survival.com/camp 2020. You'll see the dates for this year and be able to get some more information on that. You can also ask questions in the comments below or send us a message through our social media channels if you have questions on the T4 Survival Camp. But I encourage you, come and attend. We get a lot of comments, Scott, about, hey, I could go to the Jamaican island for that amount of money and sit on a beach. But you're not going to learn how to deal with a violent threat and how to operate a firearm and feel comfortable being able to do so. So one will get you a tan, the other one might save your life.
So you said there's only a couple spots left, huh?
Yeah, we're doing really good.
I went quick.
It does. We're already.
Like Jamie said, you better hurry up and book it, because I guarantee by the end of March it probably won't be open anymore. So I would hurry up and do that.
All 3 last year sold out. We've got 3 on tap for this year. And I think we're going to try to squeeze in one more event somewhere in there as well, because May is going to be selling out. July is sold out. And October, we're halfway. So spots are going really quick. And we got people coming from all over the country: Hawaii, Arkansas, California, Washington State, Ohio, Texas, Florida. So just because you're not local doesn't mean you shouldn't be participating in this training. If you have questions about transporting your firearm, any of those details, send us a message. We'll be glad to help you out with that and help you out the logistics if you want to come out to the camp. So let's talk more about March 28th. So we have the women's only in the morning. Then we're going on to carjacking. right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
being able to pull your personal vehicles into TPA Milsim. Scott, let's talk about the carjacking. I'll let you take it for a minute.
All right. So we all watch the news all the time. We see, like we saw that Wallingford incident. I know the female officer who arrived on scene So this woman brings this guy from wherever, West Hartford, wherever, nice enough to give him a ride home. She brings him to Wallingford, gets to the gas station, he tries carjacking her. All right, grabs her purse and everything else. And then it's just a disaster. He gets kicked a few times by the manager or whatever, and then he goes to steal the car. So that car just goes around, out into Route 5 and back, around, and the poor guy who owns the car is trying to get his car back, and then it crashes. You're going to go through it. You're gonna learn how to defend yourself if someone comes up to you and tries to take your car or whatever. We're going to do one person in the car, two people in the car. The person gets into the passenger seat, and we're going to how to deal with that.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, hopefully some of the women will go from the women to the carjacking, and then to the final one. Because there's 3 that day.
Right.
So, the carjacking is, all right, I'm leaving the grocery store, my hands are full, I'm in my car, then all of a sudden I hit you.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Right.
So it's good stuff like that.
What would you do? Right? That's a big thing we talk about all the time. And what if you have kids with you? What if your family members are inside the vehicle? Right? And you think, I'm just going to get out of the car and give them the vehicle. But let's ask an honest question here. If you have a child and your child sees that there's someone standing in the doorway with a gun pulling you out, are they going to freeze or are they actually going to get out of the vehicle? Right? So there's a lot of things to consider, collateral considerations that we need to cover and discuss. What if your wife's in the car? What if you have an elderly person, a family member, grandmother, mother, father, that's inside the vehicle that maybe is immobile? And this person's coming over asking the vehicle. How do you handle that situation? And that's all the stuff we're going to cover inside of this seminar.
Or what about the infant? The infant you just buckled in, the 27 buckles.
How many times does that happen? A carjacking.
Put your infant in, As soon as you put your infant in the car, all of a sudden this guy wants your car. Then what?
Right.
You're not going to let him take it, obviously.
And in a lot of states, the crime of stealing vehicles, not just for the carjacking to go for a joyride, but is becoming a lot more popular. And we're seeing a lot of federal investigations into car rings thieves, right? So there's someone in another state that's offering X amount of dollars for a white Jeep Cherokee in a certain model year. These gangbangers or someone out in the street sees that vehicle and you're driving it. It doesn't matter anymore who's driving it or what's in the vehicle. It's a resource. They know that they could take that vehicle and get X amount of dollars for it. And by the time you report it to the police and they're on the track to try to find it, the car is on its way someplace out of state disabled. So it happens that quickly, right? So realizing that in that type of violent encounter and they want that vehicle as quickly as possible, they may not even realize there's other occupants in the car. They just rip somebody out. They start driving down the street, then they realize, hey, there's a baby seat in the back seat. And are you going to leave your family's life in control of this criminal, of him to make the right decision, a moral decision, to drop the baby off, leave the car at the side of the road safe? I wouldn't, right? So
what about when they're already in the commission of a crime? They've just robbed a bank, now they're being chased, and now they see this car running, who's pumping gas.
Right.
There's my easy target.
Yeah.
It's a crime of opportunity. I'm going to jump in that car and take off, and all of a sudden, oh, crap, there's 2 kids in the back seat.
Yeah. Right.
But I will say, unfortunately, number 1 car gets stolen is a Honda Accord. Number 2 is a Honda Civic. So if you own those are like the number 1 vehicles being stolen today.
Right.
So the parts are interchangeable, and they're very easy to steal. So
be aware of that if you own those vehicles. Make sure you take the proper precautions, try to protect those vehicles, and
if you're going to start your car in the morning because it's cold, please relock it, start it. If you have a starter, that's great. If you don't, please don't leave the keys in the car. Please don't leave the car unlocked. Leave the car running, lock it, and then go on your merry way.
Yeah.
And then your car will be there. Because I tell you what, it's almost like these kids that steal these cars they must sense that, I have a car. Because we're getting cars stolen in obscure parts of town. It's like, really?
Right.
All of a sudden, we hear a car stolen from this part of town. It's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think of it. It's like they come out of the ground where the cars are running. And please, don't leave your car running unlocked. Don't leave your keys in the car. I probably shouldn't have to tell you this, but I have to because this is what we do every day.
Yep.
My neighbor's car almost got stolen, so just lock it up. If you're going to start it, lock it up.
Yep.
Please.
And make sure that your remote control is disabled inside of your vehicle as well as you lock it up, right? Because they could get inside the vehicle, or if they know there's something inside the house they really want, they can smash the window, hit that button to open up the garage door, and then they have access into your home.
Yeah,
right.
That's another. Hide that thing, or don't even put that thing in the car.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they're going to hit that, and then they're just going to.
There was an incident. I want to say Cheshire. Don't quote me on that. Where a wife locked her car, had the key fob inside, but the spare key fob was in the center console, visible.
Yeah.
Right, so they were able to smash the window and get inside the vehicle. It started right up, and they took off with it. So a lot of things to consider. Yeah. Make sure you're aware where both key fobs are, all three key fobs, and make sure that you're locking up your vehicle and you're taking those precautions. Right.
It sounds juvenile, but please do it, because a lot of people don't do it.
You know,
they figure, well, I live here, so I'm good.
Not going to happen.
And all of a sudden, your car is driving down the street, and then you're like screwed.
Yeah.
So just lock everything up.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
And take personal belongings, anything worth $1 or more, take out of the car or hide it or something. Don't leave your laptop in the front seat. Don't leave your purse in the front seat.
Right.
Don't leave your iPod, your GPS. Don't leave anything visible to these guys, because they'll smash the window. If your doors are locked, they'll smash the window and take it.
Absolutely.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And you'll never see it again. You'll never see it again. So you'll call the police, you'll file a report, but you're never going to see it again.
Yeah. And if you do get the car back, would you really want it? After you know it's maybe smashed up and what they may have been doing in that car for 3, 4, 5, 10 days or longer, right?
We see cars that get stolen. They get stolen or brand new, and they come back, they're smashed. What did they hit? They hit something. There's bullet holes in it. We see it all. So I'll leave a note in the car, like, torch it when you're done, because I don't want it back. But just who knows what they're doing with that car? They're not going to church. I'm going to tell you that much.
Yeah. So after the carjacking, we finish off the day on March 28th with shoot, no shoot, right? 2-hour segment, basically taking you through stressful situations with our training weapons and see how you respond. Like we had mentioned before, right, Scott? The convenience store setup, right?
And again, it's a culmination of, hopefully the women who go in the beginning will go to the carjacking and they'll go to the shoot, don't shoot. Because we're going to it's a culmination of the beginning class, the second class, and then we're going to put those into scenarios.
Yeah.
So you might have a carjacking scenario. You might have this type of scenario. I'm not going to give it away. So it's a culmination of the whole day.
It is. And
shoot, no shoot, the shoot, no shoot, which is like the best, because everybody seems to love that the best.
Right.
You're going to get everything from the day. So,
and a lot of the people that are signing up for these are doing all three, by the way, awesome. which is great. But there's a couple that had contacted me and said, I can't do all three. Is that okay? And yes, it absolutely is. Right. But if you can make that full day of training, it's going to be eye-opening, and it's going to be very valuable to you. So invest in yourself and partake in these trainings. It's well worth it. Believe me. So that's, again, March 28th, happening at TPA Milsim. Our registration is up on our website. So you go to T4survival.com. That's the letter T, the number 4, survival.com. You can sign up there. You could also find the links in our social media channels on Facebook and so forth to be able to sign up for these seminars and get your name in for March 28th to be able to attend. We do also a limited amount of people for spots for these seminars because we pride ourselves on a smaller classroom size floor. The student to instructor ratio is it's great. Usually we want one instructor to every 2, 3, maybe 4 students, and make sure everyone's going through a lot of segments. So some of these we may only allow 5, 6, 10, 12 people, so that there might be 3 or 4 instructors, so that makes sure everyone's getting the attention they need to, running through different segments and getting the most value out of these programs. So again, if you haven't registered yet, go to our website or social media channels and check it out. Again, March 28th, TPA Milsim in North Branford, Connecticut is where those trainings will be held. If you're looking to get started with the Alpha Krav Maga program, either in Connecticut or Maine, you can sign up for a trial program. It costs $34.99 to get you a mini private class with an instructor, and then run 1-hour group class immediately following, which gives you a great opportunity to experience a training session, see what it's all about, and decide if this is the program you're looking to commit to. If you have questions on any of those programs, feel free to reach out to us. You can also start a chat on our website, right, Scott? So I know there's times throughout the day that, maybe I'm in between meetings or Scott is on his way into work, and someone will start a chat on a website, and we'll be able to answer that chat. And when you start the chat, you actually get one of us. You get Scott, Mike, or myself to answer questions, but we're also extremely busy. So if we're not available, you can leave a message, and we'll get back to you, usually within a few hours, definitely within 24 hours of you trying to reach out to us. And then we got our T4 Survival Camps coming up May, July, and in October. And instructor certifications coming up as well for May and October. So if you're watching this from a training center or martial arts studio, you're maybe going into retirement from law enforcement or military, and you're looking for getting certified as a T4 instructor so you could teach our curriculum inside of your community or at your training center, hit us up. Send us a message. We'll start the interview process with you and see if you're a good candidate to become a T4 survival instructor. Scott, anything you want to add?
No, just go back to the class. The classes we're holding. We limit 5 to 10, 12 people, whatever, because we don't want people left behind. We've all been to a class where we really don't understand it, and we go with the flow, and then we miss out on a lot.
Right.
But we think we know, but we just they're not going to pick on me. I'll continue.
Right.
Well, so it's more of a like Jamie said, like you said, it's more of a one-on-one, and that's how we pride ourselves on the camps. That's how we pride ourselves on these trainings.
Right.
So nobody's going to get left behind and lost.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to be on the same page, and they're all going to know what to do.
Right.
So they're not going to walk out of there like, wow, I don't really remember what he said. So that's why we keep it to 5 to 10 people. There's 3 of us. I think there's going to be 3 of us in March 28th, and we're going to have that number of people. So we're going to have the number from students to instructor ratio is going to be 3 to 4 to 1. So you're going to get that individual attention.
Absolutely.
So,
good.
very important.
Very important. I appreciate everyone for watching today in our live stream. We do this every Sunday. So if you're new to the live stream, please spread the word. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe buttons on our social media channels to get alerts when we're going to go live, or if we put special segments out throughout the week. Also, feel free to ask questions during the live streams or afterwards. Post them in the comments below. Send us messages on social media. I know a lot of people sometimes get a little, we'll use Mike Kahn's word, squirrely, about putting comments out in public on social media, so they like to send it to us in a private message or send us via email or start a private chat, and that's fine as well too if you prefer to do that. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to offer assistance. Ask us anything self-defense related. We'd love to be able to spend some time with you and help you out with that. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Please make sure that you follow us on social media, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Sunday. All 3 of us will be here. 3. Mike will be back next Sunday. Mike, we missed you tonight. Scott, we missed you last week, right? We'll all be back here next Sunday, 7 o'clock, with some really cool segments. If there's anything you'd like us to discuss next Sunday, feel free to send us a message or put them in the comments below as well, and we'll try to make that as part of next week's subject, or put it into a future segment, right? We're going to end with a montage video from our T4 Survival Camp, so enjoy it. After that finishes playing, we'll be off air. So again, thanks for joining us. Have a great week, everyone. Remember, T4 Survival stands for Training for Survival. So train for surviving the fight of your life. We'll see you soon.